thank you for coming here today to talk to us here at SmartSTEMs. So, with that in mind, if you would like to introduce yourself and just briefly explain what it is that you do.
Yeah, so my name is Clacy. I'm an environmental engineer for Mabbett, and what I do is I consult with people that want to build solar panels or want to build a new housing estate or anything like that. And I basically make sure that it all passes environmental standards and that the environment will be fine if this happens, and whether or not it'll have any adverse effects on people around or infrastructure or anything like that. That's what I do.
Cool. So what or who got you interested in that type of work in your journey to your current role?
So originally I did a bachelor's in maths. So I was never planning to be an engineer, but I did a master's in environmental engineering, and it was really doing some environmental modeling in maths that made me think, actually, I really am passionate about environment, and I would rather go down that route. And environmental engineering really just ticked all the boxes for me. And so I changed course, and that was fine. So started off with maths, and that showed me that actually my passion was in environment.
So what led you to Mabbett? How did you get a job with Mabbett?
I was applying for graduate jobs. They had a graduate environmental engineering job going. I had graduated for about a year. I was a manager of a little card shop before this, and they just had a really nice job opportunity, a lot of training. And like I say, I've only done a master's in engineering. I'm not an engineering person really, and they have a really diverse teaching, so you can just be shown a lot of everything, which would be perfect for me. And yeah, just a really nice company to work for, really good morals, and that's how I ended up here.
So what does a typical day look like for you, Ali?
So a typical day, it would be some modeling. So if you're building a factory or building a solar farm, then I would model it on my computer and then run that model through assessments. It's a lot of talking with the client, making sure that everything that I'm doing on my end is correct, and that they're not going to submit this assessment with wrong details, say if the layout's wrong or the location. So it's a lot of talking with clients and making sure that they're on board and that they're happy with what I'm doing. Then it's the modeling, assessment, and then writing it all up, which less fun bit, but the modeling is good. And it's nice to talk to a load of different clients and getting a lot of experience from it.
So what's your favorite part of your job?
That changes, I would say. At the moment, I'm really enjoying what they're called glint and glare assessments. So if you're doing building a solar farm or lots and lots of solar panels, you need to make sure that the sun isn't going to glint off them at an angle. And key things that we look out for are airplanes. You don't want pilots being blinded by solar panels glinting in the sun, or you don't want houses being disturbed by all the glinting and the reflections. And so it's quite fun to work out all the different angles and see whether or not, if these solar panels are tilted at a certain angle and facing a certain way, you don't want cars driving by to be disrupted. So I think at the moment, all that modeling is my favorite. But yeah, like I say, it changes. Really depends on, I think, the complexity. I quite like an in-depth project. Yeah.
What's been the most complex project that you've worked on?
I think it's probably projects where it crosses over different teams. So when you have to coordinate with planning and people that work with contaminated land, where they check the quality of the land, and it's when there's so many different variables that you have to double check. We do lots of work for big distilleries and big factories, and so we go from designing the actual things to making sure that during construction the air quality is not going to change, and during operational phase. And so it's like liaising with different people of the team. It's not the projects themselves, but rather, I guess, the context of them.
Yeah. So what was your favourite subject at school?
My favourite subject was maths, which is why I went into maths originally. I had an incredible teacher, especially during my A levels, English hires, I guess. And yeah, she was just brilliant, and yeah, really enjoyed maths.
Love it, love it. So, if you could give young Ali a piece of advice about, your journey or anything that you maybe have learned along the way, what would be that piece of advice you would give your younger self?
I think it's important to know that you don't have to be the best at everything. I'm a very competitive person, so when it came to school and tests and exams, I wanted to be number one, and I would really stress myself out about it. But at the end of the day, somebody might be better at tests than you, or better at coursework than you, and that's okay. It doesn't devalue what you know and what you can do any way at all. So I think it's just very, yeah, I was very competitive, and it really did stress me out a lot during school. I don't have to be the best. It's fine. What I do is great,
Yeah,
and I'm good at what I do, and that's enough. Don't have to be number one.
yeah. And I think there is a lot of pressure on young people these
Definitely.
days. So that's an absolute amazing piece of advice. So thank you so much for that. And thank you for spending some time with me this morning and getting to know a wee bit more about you and your journey into STEM. So thank you
No,
so much. See you
yeah.
soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.